Hey there, everybody. So, I have to issue a minor apology to Brooks at DGQC. I actually had no idea that Acid Horizon wasn't just selling merch. I do have to issue a correction for that. And I was under the impression that when, Brooks was criticizing Acid Horizon, he was bitching about Acid Horizon producing merchandise like the tarot cards and things like that. And I understand, like, some people might be, like, super overly pretentious about, like, merch and like, how people may monetize their material and stuff. And I think that, like, if that were what it was, right, like, if they were pissed off about the tarot or something, I would be rolling my eyes to the back of my head. Like, come on. Like, I think that producing something like that is completely fair. Making like t-shirts and stuff like that is, completely fair in of itself, right? I have a merch store. I don't really advertise it very much because it's not really like a priority, but I have a merch store. And so, and I've thought about, merchandising opportunities that might happen in the future. Not because I'm really particularly interested in making, like, more than just enough money to get by. I'm a very, like, I live on very small amounts of money, relatively speaking. But, I've thought about this kind of problem in the future because it might come up. If my channel was to become very popular, it might come up. I mean, I have an OC that's based off of a real person. I have a conflict of interest there, basically, right? I'd have to, like, contact people. I'd have to be like, hey, I want to make, like, a plushie of, like, your granddad. Can we, like, do this in a way that doesn't make me feel ontologically evil? Like, that's kind of, like, the problem that I have to think of when I think of merchandising. And it's just, like, I think what bothers me is, like, just seeing how other creators in our sphere, and this does include DGQC, like, he's not out of the water, just to be clear. He just has a very different approach to his marketing, right? His marketing is much more like what you would see with, like, a typical streamer, right? Like, he's basically trying to build up, like, this sort of kind of, like, presence and, like, persona so that he can go around and kind of self-perpetuate himself, right? And a lot of it is just through, like, selling crap and, the repetition of signs and stuff. And it's kind of funny to me, honestly. At the end of the day, like, that is just exactly what Guattari is criticizing in, his critique of postmodernism. And I've gone over that before. But, like, that's a different kind of marketing. Like, that's a very streamer, terminally online gamer kind of oriented marketing. And that's part of the reason why I picked up on that, because, like, he's from the game industry, right? He's always been involved in video game politics and stuff. So it's not really surprising to me that he would replicate those marketing signs. And like I said, I don't really have a problem with people monetizing their work. I've thought about it many times in the past, and I think that I'm overly conservative with how I monetize my work. But there's a difference between just, like, being an artist and monetizing your stuff and, this kind of, like, pushing it towards, like, marketing, like it's not really about what you're talking about. And so this kind of brings me to Acid Horizon, who has a different problem, right? And I'm just gonna say it again, I totally agree with Brooks being upset about this, right? Like, he's not really much better, but I completely agree with him being upset by this. And so, let's just kind of go over it. So it's Acid Horizon Research Commons. Acid Horizon Research Commons is a para-academic platform for collaborative learning, experimentation, and inquiry beyond the limits of traditional institutions. Alongside invited authors, educators, and public thinkers, we work closely with members of the broader Acid Horizon community to co-develop courses that reflect the shared spirit and urgency that animates our project. AHRC offers a space for deep engagement with ideas that often fall outside the bounds of conventional curricula. At a time where the humanities are increasingly under siege, Acid Horizon has emerged as a locus of critical intervention, incubating concepts hostile to the order of things while refusing the foreclosures imminent to our current crisis. Now, while I would give this an A+ for creative writing, I don't really think it's, like, telling us much about what they're actually doing. Like, it's a bunch, like, they're basically just saying, like, ooh, we're going to deterritorialize the academic institution that's currently being defunded right now. Isn't that great? Well, I would argue that deterritorialization has already been occurring for quite a while now, with YouTube channels well, like mine and many others in the Deliz community. I would even say that the podcasts of Acid Horizon and DGQC have also participated in that deterritorialization. I don't really think that monetizing that is actually the right direction, and I'll explain that in a minute. Again, I don't have a problem with monetizing like things on the side. Like if you have a like a Redbubble store or whatever, like I do, I don't care. I'm going to be making a video game that's obviously monetized. Like I'm going to be going to Kickstarter about a video game. So this is their current course that they are promoting, right? It's Anarchic Origins in Science, Life, and Art, right? With Simondon Bataille, Sherman, and friends. Whoa. Okay, there was a description the first time I loaded this. I don't know why it's not loading this time. Oh, give me a second. I think it's because of my VPN. Okay. Let's try again. That's so funny. Where is it? Are you kidding me? What? Oh, okay. It's just the website is a little confusing. Okay. Alright. So, like, basically, this is just kind of like a course, I guess, that is about, like, intersecting, like, Deleuze, Guattari, other theorists with, like, biology and stuff. And it's taught by a guy who is a chemical ecologist and pharmacologist affiliated with the University of Melbourne. And this is all, like, you know, interesting and all, but, like, okay. So let's actually, like, break down the numbers here, right? This is a $200 course that is brought down to $175. So let's say it's $175 per person, right? Now, I don't know how big this course is. Where is it? Does it say how big this course is? I don't see this. Okay. All right. So, what is this? Like, 175... So let's say there's 20 people, right? That's $3,500 for 20 people that is being pulled in when this is created, right? And so that's a lot of money to pull in for a guy who's doing 1.5 hour Zoom sessions 5 times. That's a lot of money to pay, and I think that's a real thing to bring up because, like, okay, I get it, right? You know, people who are in these, like, fields and stuff deserve to have, you know, be paid for their work and all of this crap, right? I'm not saying that people don't deserve to be paid, but if you're serious about emancipating the, you know, intellectual institutions and things like that, I don't think that putting things behind a paywall like this is really the appropriate thing. So, like, I want to compare this to, like, what I paid to go to Delft, right? So in 2024, I attended something called, I think it was called DG Deleuze Guattari Camp and Conference. I was only able to go to the camp because my employer was a shithead. Maybe one day I'll tell you that story. But I went to the camp, right? And that was for the week of, like, the first week of July in 2024. So I paid 2 amounts. I think it was 250 euros each. I can't remember exactly. I'd have to look it up. I'm pretty sure I didn't pay any more than 500 euro, though, right? Now, here's the difference, right? One, I actually got to meet these people in person. I got to meet Ian Buchanan in person. I think I terrified the poor man. I'm really sorry if I did. I'm sorry, Ian. But I got to meet him in person. I got to meet a bunch of other scholars in person who actually came from all over the world, right? And it was really cool because it was the first time I ever got to be around people who actually studied this stuff for a living, right? And I feel like something like that could potentially continue to perpetuate itself even in a academic institution future, you know, that these guys are kind of alluding to, just because, like, there's a lot of value that comes from that. Even if I was paying out of pocket, it's just, like, I don't know, like, I understand that with DGC 2024 I had to also pay for the travel, but, like, if you're in Europe, that travel is not going to be super expensive. I was just unfortunate enough to be in America, and they scheduled it on the 4th of July. But yeah, like, that actually felt like I had a lot of value, and I just don't see, like, anywhere near as much value from something like this, right? And I understand that it gives you access to, like, the archive. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't. You have to have the subscribe to our course archive. You have to subscribe separately to the archive? What? That's so lame. You don't get access to the previous courses when you drop $175? What? Why? What the fuck? So you have to pay $150 a year just to have access to the course archive, and there's only like 5 courses on there so far. What the fuck? What the fuck? At least offer like free content, right? Like, I understand that they have a podcast, but like, at least offer some like free stuff to entice people to get the courses. Like, oh my god, this is like genuinely frustrating. Yeah, so like this I have a problem with. Let's see, we have the previous courses. Like I said, they only have 5 courses in their archive, so you're not getting a ton of value there. Upcoming, what do they have? So they do have a couple things upcoming. This is the one that's coming up. They got a couple others. Doesn't seem like you're getting a lot of bang for your buck with the variety of speakers, but whatever. Let's see. What is this? Agora is a public face of Acid Horizon. Research Commons is an open space for thought, live inquiry, and collective engagement. It ensures that a serious theoretical work remains accessible and active in public life. Here, research opens outward and ideas are expressed, challenged in real time. This is just, like, really frustrating. So, like, to put in comparison, right? So what was Guattari doing in the 1960s? Well, what he was doing was he was taking, like, a bunch of people's, like, opinions and putting them into a research journal, right? And that research journal, you could just get editions of, right? That's what research is, right? And that eventually evolved into Chimeras, which is actually still published to this day, right? And so, like, I think that personally having a journal is a lot more value and a lot more valuable to, like, you know, this whole, like, remaining accessible priority. Do you really think that $175 is accessible? Really? Like, what the fuck? Who is this for? Who is this for? You're trying to say that, like, it's so frustrating. I think that zines are a lot more valuable. Like, something that I've fallen behind on, but I did try to do over the summer, was create zines that you can download on my website, right? And these, I haven't worked on it in a while because there's a couple bugs in my code and I got really tired. But you can print these out. You can, like, this is double-sided. You can literally print this out and share it at, like, your local, like, anarchist group or whatever, right? Like, this is zero paywall. The only paywall is getting access to a printer. So, like, this article you can just print out if you wanted, right? And this is another thing that I have with, like, the problem with these podcast people. They don't have anything in text. It is, like, and this is a problem even with Machinic Unconscious Happy Hour, which is actually, like, a podcast that I support. If you're into this kind of stuff, just watch Machinic Unconscious Happy Hour. They don't have any of this weird fucking monetization, pretentious shit. It's just Taylor Adkins, translator of people like Guattari and Laurel and others, right? And, Cooper Cherry, who's like a chill-ass motherfucker. They're 2 really cool dudes. They've supported me fully through my schizophrenic episode back in 2020-21. Like, I could not give them a higher fucking badge of honor. They're fucking amazing, and I don't understand why people who are watching this people who are listening to this aren't listening to them. They're just it's literally a translator, and they pull in some really interesting guys, and I know some people joke that it's actually a Dune podcast, which it is, but, like, whatever, right? But, like, you see what I mean? Like, there's different ways to go about this. Like, okay, this is just the Idiocracy review, but, like, here's another one, right? You can print this out. You can share this with people. You can't share this with people. You can't connect with people on the ground with this. You can't do shit with this. And you can't, let me get this straight too. You can't do shit with DGQC's crap either. You can't do fucking crap, right? Now, if you're curious, right, just to let you know, there's definitely some bugs I haven't gotten around to fixing. But if you want to know what I used to generate this, it's not that. Right here, it converts markdown files into PDF documents using options passed in a hash, right? So basically, you have like a file that defines how it will generate the PDF, and you modify the options, and there's options that just come out of the box that allow you to just slap together a zine really fast, right? Now, the thing is that it doesn't have a great interface because obviously I stopped development in June because I burned out. But, like, this is still a tool that you can use, and I'm going to probably add more updates to it, now that I'm, I might add more to this and fix a lot of those issues later. But, yeah, like, this is actually valuable. Like seriously, this is what frustrates me about these popular Deleuzians, right? Because, they go on and on and on about how these pretentious lectures about machines and all this crap and how we have to, like, fucking politically emancipate ourselves. But, like, they don't understand the very basics of how to create a useful machine that actually connects to people. Like, you're not gonna connect to the people who need to hear it, the minoritarian, through just, like, fucking, they're just like fucking $175 courses. You're not gonna do that through an $150 yearly access to the archive of like 5 fucking courses. You're not gonna do that. You're gonna do that with stuff that you can print out like this. Stuff that means something to people. Stuff that they can put in their room and they can read it over and over again. Like, come on. This ain't hard, people. And the thing is that it's really kind of weird to me that these people who claim that they're, like, again, just like fucking Brooks, political emancipation, blah, 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 and they don't apparently think, like, what does my local anarchist bookstore that distributes zines, how can I work with them to actually teach people these things? Like, how can I work with people on the ground with these things? How can I reach my local black or indigenous organizations and stuff? Right? Like, how do I connect these things, right? Now, there's something else I want to say kind of publicly about Deleuze YouTubers in general, but I'm going to save that for later. Maybe I'll remember to talk about it, maybe I won't. But I wanted to make this just focused on this shit. Because this shit, fuck this shit. Alright? Fuck this shit. Again, Brooks is right about this. Fuck this shit.